once said that religion and virtue are the only foundations for success in any government and in any society. He stated that I have examined all religions, and the result is that the Bible is the best book in the world. He went on to say that our Constitution was made only for a moral and religious people, and that it is inadequate for the government of any other. Additionally, America's first president, George Washington, said that it is impossible to rightly govern the world without God and without the Bible. Patrick Henry, who proclaimed, "Give me liberty or give me death," said about our great nation that it cannot be emphasized too often or too strongly that our nation was founded not by religionists, but by Christians, and not on religion, but on the gospel of Jesus Christ. Our great nation has proven to be a shining city on a hill, an example to all of the nations of how freedom, liberty, individual rights, and personal responsibility can make a nation the most prosperous nation in the world. Unfortunately, I believe that America is in trouble. The financial crisis provides evidence that the core values that founded our nation are dwindling. The government influence is growing and still ineffective. People still live in poverty, the illiterate are still uneducated, and greed from all aspects of society abounds. All you have to do is watch the news to find out that crime is increasing, abortion is increasing, divorce is increasing, and the moral fabric of our nation is ripping apart. It is my opinion that the Bible and the Christian religion provided the philosophical and practical foundation for America's success. These values are faith in the God of the Bible, personal responsibility, honesty, a strong work ethic, family values, and the right to life. From the time of America's founding, our forefathers acknowledged the benefits of Christianity and its influence upon the United States of America. Our laws were formed from the English common law, which was based upon a biblical worldview. The colonial revolutionary society was saturated with Christianity and biblical principles due to the Second Great Awakening, and almost every individual learned to read from the text of the Bible. Christianity, following the teachings of Jesus Christ, permeated the founders' society and heavily influenced our Revolutionary War and the foundation of the United States of America. Our founders accepted the reality of a God who created man in his image, and that man is now a fallen and sinful humankind, and the need for checks and balances upon that humankind, and the incentive to work and prosper. Therefore, our very government was formed and founded upon a biblical worldview. For example, our government has checks and balances that are based upon the knowledge of man's sinful nature and the knowledge that power, when used unwisely, can corrupt a nation. The principle of limited government, meaning that people are in control of the government instead of the government being in control of the people, establishes the fact that man is made in God's image and capable of making his own choices that will either benefit or harm the individual and their family. The principle of individual rights and responsibilities was established for those same reasons, that man can make his own choices and has the freedom to do so. Lastly, our founders established the right of equal opportunity, with an understanding that the outcome was up to us, according to how hard and how diligently we're willing to work. Over the past 100 years, the United States government has left the principles and foundations that made it great. We need to get back to these proven principles that promote strong families, individual responsibility, hard work, and faith. For example, President Johnson started the War on Poverty back in 1964. Yet after 40-plus years and billions of dollars, there are just as many poor in America. The modern welfare and safety net plans don't work because they fail to emphasize the need for hard work, education, and personal responsibility. Additionally, our nation has forgotten the benefits of the traditional family and how it is the best setting for success of our children in every area of their lives. Statistics show that almost 50% of marriages will end in divorce, and that the rate of abortions performed every year increases dramatically. According to a study done by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, the result of all our fatherless homes is kids with a far greater risk of drug and alcohol abuse, mental illnesses, suicide, teen pregnancies, poor educational performances, and criminal activity, thus creating a cycle of more divorces, more abortions, and fatherless homes. What would turning back to God and Christian principle accomplish? Let's take a look. Number 7 of the Ten Commandments says that you shall not commit adultery. Jesus went further to say in Matthew 5:28 that if you even look at someone with lust, you have committed adultery with them already in your heart. In Proverbs 5:18 through 19, Solomon said to his son that you shall rejoice with the wife of your youth, and let her satisfy you at all times. If men and women would heed these scriptures and start doing what was right for everyone, and consider what was right in God's eyes, instead of being selfish and doing what felt right for them, there would be a lot less divorces, ending the problem with fatherless homes, therefore initially bringing down the abortion and crime rates. The fifth commandment is honor your father and mother. The teen rebellion stage is accepted common knowledge today. But what if teens of today would honor their parents no matter what? If they would have the understanding that their parents do things because they love them and they know what's best for them. Besides, their parents have been around the block before, and they know a little bit more than their kids. If that was the way that kids thought today, that they knew it was the right thing to do, and ultimately that it was obeying God, do you think there would be a change in the statistics that I stated before? This is just a taste of the principles from God that made this country great. But there are many more that our forefathers believed, lived, and used to make America the greatest nation in the world. Our moral fabric is tearing apart and weakening our nation. If we turn back to our founding principles, which are grounded in Christianity and the Bible, our nations and citizens would once again make America great. I would like to end with a scripture from 2 Chronicles chapter 7, verse 14. God said that if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and I will heal their land. We have a decision to make. Are we going to keep going on the road away from God and the moral principles that we were founded on and live lives without God? Or are we going to turn back to God and those moral principles that made America great? The future of our country will be determined by the choice that we make.